Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Okay, hi, this is Jay Fallon, and this is The Slippery Slope. So, I'd done an episode, I recorded an episode yesterday, and I recorded it, put it up, went back. I went back, I edited it again, uh, looked over it, thought, still can't say that either. So now I've just recorded another one. So I'm going to go over these stories. These came out yesterday, most of them. Um, the first one, the New South Wales Police Commissioner Karen Webb is stepping down. Now, I'm pretty sure the start of this year, she had said she'd quashed rumors that she was going to be stepping down, that she was going to be retiring early, resigning early. And lo and behold, I always think it's funny when they do this. You know, oh no, I'm not going to. There's rumors getting about everywhere. The rumor mill's going on, overtime, and yet they're all saying, "Oh no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to retire. I'm not going to resign early." New South Wales Police Commissioner Karen Webb to step down. Like I said, this was yesterday. She's set to resign after 3 years as the state's top cop. Police Minister Yasmin Catley confirmed the news in the state parliament on Wednesday, announcing that Webb would resign on September 30 as part of her retirement plan. Earlier this year, the commission rejected claims she would be retiring early. Cately said Webb's lengthy notice period would allow for a thorough recruitment process for her successor. Commissioner Webb has had an extremely distinguished career marked by exemplary service. I have nothing but heartfelt thanks for her incredible work and admiration for her many significant achievements. So this is what Catley said, eh? She has been a force for change and reform, focused on the safety and well-being of the New South Wales Police. Yeah, okay. That's what you want to go with. When others would be happy to stick with the status quo, Karen Webb has strived for more. She is a true trailblazer. Really? Because I tell you what she looked like to me. When the pressure was on, when there was a stressful situation, she was like a deer in the headlights, just sitting there going, "What the heck am I supposed to do? I've got no idea. I'm just going to speak, ramble into the camera, and hope that something comes out of my mouth that makes sense. Oh no, I've put my mouth in it, my foot in it. I just she's a trailblazer, apparently. Okay. Webb, who was appointed the state's first female commissioner in 2022, beat contenders Willing and Lanyon following a battle for the role. Lanyon, Deputy Commissioner Paul Pizzanos and Dave Hudson, and Assistant Commissioners Peter McKenna, Gavin Wood, and Scott Cook are all potential contenders to replace her. As Commissioner, Webb has overseen responses to the Bondi Massacre, the alleged murders of Luke Davies and Jesse Baird by off-duty officer Bo Lemaire Condon. Now, I love the way, they love to say, oh, he was off-duty. He still was a police officer and he committed murder. So I'm not sure, I'm not convinced the whole he's off-duty at the time makes it any better. And so she also oversaw the responses to the Dural caravan terror plot, which is now suspected to be a con job fabricated by organised criminals. That's a whole episode. All I'm saying that sucker. Anyway, so her focus as commissioner has been on children as both victims and perpetrators of crime, domestic violence, and sexual assault, helping launch a new online sexual assault reporting system that allows victims to report incidents anonymously, and expanding the Family Liaison Officers program to better support victims and families of victims of crime. Webb also apologised to victims of gay hate crimes. That's what Katerina did too back in the day. Anyway, it's again different thing. Police culture has also been a priority with Webb. Yeah, sure. with Webb announcing in November an independent review targeting serial sexual offenders within the force. The review, headed by former Victorian Equal Opportunity and Human Rights Commissioner Hilton, will also examine issues, uh, gender issues, bullying, and mental health. Its findings, recommendations, and executive summary will be made public. Webb's landmark career achievement. This is what she is known for. Her career landmark achievement was scoring a historic pay rise for officers. The force was awarded a 19% base pay increase over 4 years. Okay, so that's going to be her claim to fame. What they believe is her landmark achievement. She achieved a historic pay rise. Really, out of all the things you could be known for, that is the one thing you're going to be remembered for. Oh, the one good thing, because you're going to be remembered for a few gaffes, I would say. She also faced scrutiny for several public gaffes, including her handling of the alleged double murder of Baird and Davies. Yeah, by the police officer, because she quoted Taylor Swift in a media interview. Like I said, foot and mouth disease, and purchasing thousands of dollars worth of gin as gifts. A decision currently being investigated by the police watchdog. But yeah, landmark landmark career achievement was historic pay rises. Yeah, she really set a high bar. Old Karen Webb. Anyway, I'm not reading any more of that. Is she going to be missed as police commissioner? No, I think she was feckless. She was not a good leader at all. She was the poster child for what Australia considers leaders at the moment. We have got a plethora of absolutely pathetic leadership across this nation, and she's like the poster child. Hey, you want to be a bad leader? You want to know how not to handle a stressful situation? You want to know how to just go to water when the pressure is on? Just go and check out what Karen Webb does and do whatever she does. You'll be fine. You'll probably get promoted. So, anyway, that came out. It's a bit harsh, I know. Listen, let's go to the next story I want to talk about. Senior constable, this is in Queensland, suspended while on serious assault public nuisance charges. A Queensland policeman facing criminal charges can be identified. He's a long-standing police officer, 53-year-old Queensland policeman. Suspended pending the outcome of a criminal investigation, can be identified as a well-known Harvey Bay community leader and youth mentor. Senior Constable Richard McKinnon is charged with serious assault and public nuisance. Police will allege the charges stem from an altercation while Senior Constable is off duty. The married father and officer for more than 2 decades has long been heavily involved in the Fraser Coast community and his local church. He was formerly at the helm of the Harvey Bay PCYC and acted as a youth mentor in local schools and through programs like the Buchula Rites of Passage. I hope I haven't just butchered that there. He's also known as a mental health awareness advocate, having regularly led his colleagues' fundraising efforts for Movember, leading shed nights. In 2016, he was awarded the National Police Medal for 15 years of service. McKinnon's charges were briefly mentioned on Tuesday in the Magistrates Court. Defence lawyer Travis George asked for a 4-week adjournment for the purpose of continuing discussions with police with the intentions of working towards a resolution. Okay, so he's had to talk. So, in the statement last month, Queensland Police Service confirmed the officer had been suspended. He will be suspended with pay, I believe. That's the way it goes. It said it informed the public when a member faced serious allegations of misconduct to keep a commitment to high standards of behaviour, transparency, and accountability. Now, we all know that's a load of rubbish. The QPS, Queensland Police Service, they don't really want transparency or accountability. I'm not saying that anything about this police officer or this case, but I'm saying QPS in general, the hierarchy, that's not really what they want. They only put things out there that they really have to. They really have to do it. When they absolutely have to do it, that's when they do it. It also reiterated that a suspension against the member did not mean the allegations against them were substantiated. So, third story I want to talk about, and this is the Queensland Police Union, and then I want to take it on to what's happened with this McKinnon, Senior Constable McKinnon. So, the Queensland Police Union have decided that they wanted to, uh, well, instead of just being a union that supports its members, and, helps supports members who, like Senior Constable McKinnon, who are going through a hard time, who've been had these accusations put at them and then are being charged, this kind of thing. They're under investigation. So instead of just, well, we're the union, we're funded by members, Queensland Police officers. That's where we get our money. And so, when police officers are in trouble, we need to be there to help them. We need to be there to support them. Hopefully, Senior Constable McKinnon, hopefully, as soon as this happened, the first person, or one of the top three people that he heard from, hopefully, was Shane Pryor or a high-ranking member of the Queensland Police Union. Hopefully, that's what happened. That's one of the first people that made contact with him to help support him, because the Queensland Police Service has, well, at the moment, there's been quite a number of serving officers that have that have been the pressure. Let's put it this way: the pressure, I think, has gotten too much. I don't want to go into any other detail, but the pressure's gotten a bit much, and police officers have very sadly taken their own lives. So I just hope that the union are doing what the union are supposed to do, supporting their members. But I've got doubts. Let's look at this. This article: push for domestic violence to be standalone offence rejected. A proposal by the Queensland Police Union to make domestic violence a standalone offence, which included a 50,000 signature petition in support, has been rejected. It's funny because I never realised the Queensland Police Union was in the business of, proposing legislation, creating legislation. Didn't think that was the thing that they were supposed to be doing. I always thought, and wrongly so, I mean, in my experience, they're not the best at support. In my personal experience, and I look back and think, well, anyway, in my personal experience, they're not a great support at all. Anyway, a proposal by the Queensland Police Union to make domestic violence a standalone offence has been rejected by Minister for Domestic and Family Violence Amanda Cam. That's a photo. If you're looking at this video, that's a photo of her there. It comes as the Queensland Sentencing Advisory Council report has found first-time domestic violence offenders receive jail time only about 6% of the time when analysing an 8-year period. After garnering about 50,000 signatures, the Queensland Police Union requested the state government immediately legislate commit domestic and family violence as a standalone offence, saying it would reduce paperwork and make perpetrators appear in court sooner. Listen, I have my serious doubts about whether it would actually reduce paperwork, because, granted, it's been a long time since I actually did any attended domestic violence jobs, because I'd been out of general duties for quite a few years. I've been in the other unit. However, there'd already been a push and a lot of significant changes made, and paperwork had been significantly diminished. You didn't have to spend a lot of time. The paperwork wasn't the issue. So, reducing paperwork and perpetrators appearing in court sooner. Anyway, I'm not going to get too much into all this stuff. Anyway, I want to make another point, a different point. However, on Thursday, Cam did not move to legislate. I agree that efficient and effective policing is an essential part of Queensland's response to violence. It is also critical to ensure the safety of victim survivors and the persons using violence are held accountable, as well as assisting them to change their abusive behaviours. My issue with all of this: why are the Queensland Police Union pushing to introduce legislation? Since when is that your role? You have officers like McKinnon who are in trouble, And like I said, I hope they're receiving the support from the Queensland Police Union that they deserve to be receiving. Because I'm saying this because in my experience, the Queensland Police Union, their um their assistance, their support was absolutely is virtually non-existent. Let's be real. I if you don't know my story at all, so I was caught up in the COVID mandates for the jab. I had so you get investigated. You get investigated. I didn't go along with the mandates. Uh, you get a bit of a you get a notice saying, "Hey, you haven't done what the commissioner said." Even though I thought, well, even though it did go against our human rights, and Queensland Police every year you do the little computer online training saying, "Yes, we stand for human rights in Queensland." Until it all gets a bit tough, until the rubber hits the road, then it's like, oh, well, we stand for human rights in Queensland, except now that things are a bit tough, we're going to throw all the human rights out, and the commission is going to make this direction, and you all have to obey. So screw you and your rights. And I thought, well, okay, you get investigated, and I mistakenly assumed that the Queensland Police Union would be there to help and support. It's funny enough, when I was being interviewed like a criminal, I had Shane Pryor, the current president of the union, sitting next to me. Um, and because of the job that had been in for quite a few years, I'd been working in a bit of a police bubble, and I didn't have anything to do with the outside policing world. I had not realized until someone else had informed me, who was a someone else who's like from the outside in the police world, said to me, "Hey Jay, you do realize that the police union had already done a deal, had already made an agreement with the commissioner and the government that they would support the COVID mandates. They would support officers getting the jab." And I was a bit dumbstruck. I thought, wow, okay. I didn't realize that. I had my interview where they treated me like a criminal, and Shane Pryor was sitting next to me, feigning support. In actual fact, he was biased because he'd already supported the opposition. He'd already supported the people who were trying to charge me. So, in my experience, the union doesn't support. They lack support when you need it the most, and they've always got. Just again, in my experience, it seems like they've always got another agenda going on. So the reason why I'm bringing up this push for this DV legislation, why? Why is the union pushing for legislation to go through? That's not, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's the Queensland Police Union's job to create legislation. You might go forward and support legislation and put your support behind it and encourage it, but it's not yours to put before Parliament, is it? Isn't your role, isn't the role of the Queensland Police Union to support officers who are going through a hard time, officers who are being investigated, whether or not they've done the wrong thing, or whether or not they're just going through maybe like some of us who have issues with PTSD and it's not being dealt with properly, and maybe you know it's raising its head. The PTSD is raising its head in the outside world because you're not dealing with it, or maybe you just don't even realize you got it. Is the Queensland Police Union there helping those members who are in trouble, who are being investigated who are being bullied by other officers, who are being bullied by the organisation, who are being bullied by the ethical standards unit? Are you doing that? Because in my mind, that's what you should be doing. Or is the Queensland Police Union more interested in creating legislation because the leadership, the hierarchy within the union, are more interested in their own political career and political agenda, and trying to pad out their political career, trying to move forward, looking at, well, you know, this is just a stepping stone. The Queensland Police Union is just a stepping stone for my own political aspirations. That's what I think is going on. That's why I think they're trying to push this legislation through, creating legislation. It's not your role, I don't believe. That's just my opinion. I hope you are out there supporting current members who are going through, like Senior Constable McKinnon. And I'm not saying he hasn't done anything wrong. I don't know the chap. I just know that, when things start to spiral out of control in your life, you need people there to support you. And the union's supposed to be there to support you. So I hope that the Queensland Police Union isn't so focused on creating legislation and trying to get its name up in lights, or maybe its leadership's name up in lights. I hope you're actually the first ones on the phone when your officers are in trouble. And you're the last one at the end of the day that they get to talk to encourage and to help along the way and to advise. I hope that's what the union are doing. In my personal experience, that's not what you did. I should have I shouldn't have been so naive at the time and think that the union were actually there to support me when I was going through my stuff. But I hope that officers like McKinnon and others are getting the support that they need. And I hope, and the reason why I say all this is because I've heard that there's been a few officers, and I say this respectfully, I'm not trying to bring this up, to cause grief to family members or anything, but I've heard that there's been a number of officers recently that have committed suicide. And this is why I'm saying all this, because I hope the union are doing better than they used to. And I hope they're doing more, and I hope they're doing all they can. And stop focusing, in my opinion, on trying to push legislation that I don't believe is your job. This is all my opinion. Please let me know what you think. I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
They just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's gonna